A tale of two dictators, Russia's Vladimir Putin and China's Xi Jinping. First, Putin. He holds a stadium-sized rally in Moscow as a clear message to Ukraine and the world. His stern message for Russians who are not loyal. As for Xi, he and President Biden spoke for nearly 2 hours today. Does China even want to stay neutral in all of this? Good evening, I'm Mike Vaquera. Joe is back on Monday. We begin tonight with Putin's big rally, stoking nationalism and support for his country's war on Ukraine at a packed Moscow soccer stadium. Putin still calling it a, quote, special military operation, not a war. Again claimed Russia is fighting against what he calls a genocide and that Ukraine is ruled by Nazis. One banner in the stadium proclaiming, for a world without Nazism. New Lines Magazine news director Michael Weiss joins us now. Michael, add this to another speech that he made earlier this week where he said, Russia will always be able to distinguish true patriots from scum and traitors and will simply spit them out of their mouths like an insect. Then adding, he's convinced a natural detoxification of society is necessary. Michael, what do you make of all this? Those words have disturbing echoes from another era in European history not so long ago.
They do. They also have an echo in Russian or Soviet history. I mean, he sounds like Joseph Stalin at his worst. This is the language of atrocity. Clearly, the Russians are committing grievous war crimes in Ukraine. We've all seen the footage of their bombing a theater in Mariupol, at which about 1,300 people, many of them women and children, had been hunkered down, fortunately, in a basement bunker. 130 of them have been rescued, but many others are still trapped under the rubble. Now he seems to be redirecting his fire internally. And this is kind of out of the old KGB playbook. You know, this is Putin, a former case officer himself, is very much an exponent of the sword and the shield mentality, protecting the motherland from enemies without and within. And with this comes a very paranoiac and sort of almost hysterical conspiratorial mindset. Those who object to his war in Russia are essentially now marked for arrest, certainly harassment, persecution, if not worse, murder. And we've seen what he does to his opponents, both at home and abroad.
And, you know, it was interesting. We saw a number of reports that came out from around the rally. Some reporters, Western reporters, interviewed people that were there. They said they didn't even know what they were going to. A lot of them were public servants or students that had to get in buses and go involuntarily. But this is the first time we've seen Vladimir Putin in public since the start of the pandemic. And, you know, with his army still stalled and much of the world against him, he seems to be backed into a corner. And what's your take on his position now within Russia?
Well, look, there's been some credible reporting about the sacking and house arrest of a series of generals in the military, the FSB. He's undertaken a bit of a mini purge now, including among the group in the FSB known as the Fifth Service, which is responsible for running the Ukraine file for him. So again, he suspects that he is surrounded everywhere by traitors and, as he himself would put it, fifth columnists, those who look to betray him. Now, this is a very dangerous state of affairs because it means if he does feel he's losing the war in Ukraine through conventional means, would he possibly resort to unconventional means to try and, you know, tip the scales? And I think that's something we all have to kind of consider and worry about at the moment. Yeah,
to say the least. You know, you tweeted something that caught our eye yesterday, and here it is. Quote, if you think Russia's military is bleep, where do you see Belarus's? Okay, so Mike, tell us why, you know, never mind Belarus's military. I don't think they're involved in this. At least we don't understand that they are. Tell us why Russia's military is that bad and it's just not meeting expectations.
Well, I think there's a lot of factors at play here. One of the ones that I would put a lot of focus into is corruption, right? I mean, for 22 years, and you don't take my word for it. I mean, look at what Russian opposition leaders like Alexei Navalny have devoted. I mean, the mainstay of their endeavors has been exposing the rampant kleptocracy and graft and just blind thievery of the Russian people by the elites, both in the security services, which is to say the FSB, the SVR, the GRU, but also at the political level. I mean, you see the Patriarch Kirill, the head of the Orthodox Church in Moscow, wearing a watch that is worth many times his on-paper salary. How is he able to do this, right? So I think one of the considerations we have to bring to bear here is Putin was promised a bright, shiny new army. This has been a modernization reform project many years in the making. And what he's got is to my mind anyway, this kind of Potemkin mess. Soldiers who don't want to fight, who are abandoning their kit by the side of the road, soldiers who, including special forces, which I've seen videos of, who are running scared from Ukrainians that they consider to be quote unquote little Russians or at worst neo-Nazis. He has not got the conventional capability that he was told he has, and that indeed a lot of Western analysts thought that he would have.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.